All right. I think we're good. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiana Piles. I am one of the co-founders of BSTARS, Breastfeeding Sisters that are receiving support. Thank you for joining us for this BSTARS Meetup Live, as we have become accustomed to in this new world in which we live in. Just trying our best to stay connected as best we can. A dear friend in this work mentioned earlier about this socially distant does not mean that we should be spiritually distant or other forms. And so we just have to come up with unique and creative and innovative ways to keep connected. And we're good at innovation. So we just have to think a little bit and figure it out, but we can do it. So, again, thank you for joining us. We are joined by the wonderful, creative Denise Ransom this evening. We're going to have a just really great informal conversation about inspiring you to think about breastfeeding and all the wonderful reasons why. So, I thank you so much for joining us, Denise. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on here because I like to talk. So,
I was like, hey, I'm gonna ask her to join me. Oh, girl. Oh, I said that I was gonna say out loud. I said, my background is my son, my third born's gaming chair setup, and this chair is actually pretty comfortable. I'm gonna have to rethink this next chair I get from my office. It may look something like this.
right.
It looks a little royal too. You know how comes up right in here. All that. So
It's got the extra height on there on the back.
yeah, and then the girl has like a little back pillow and shoulder support. My goodness, this is great. I'm really gonna have to think that. How are my boys doing?
They're fine. They're loud. I tried
I,
to get them to be quiet, but they in their own world. So seven, that's fine because 7:30 everything cuts off.
well, I can't even hear them, so I was hoping I was gonna hear them a little bit somewhere in here. So, but good, 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 good. Please, hug and kiss them for me. I miss y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. So, all right, uh, a woman's pregnant. She's thinking about her a lot of things right now, getting together her birth plan, hopefully talking to a trusted healthcare provider about certain things that she is in need of.
Mhm.
Birth and breastfeeding and other this event is almost just as important like as a prom or a wedding.
Mhm.
And I know that so many of us unfortunately just deliver our bodies up to our healthcare providers. It's like, okay, I'm pregnant, take, do what you must, not realizing that this should be an empowering event. And so
Mhm.
with one of those life changing, choices to be made is, how am I going to feed this baby? So Denise, you being a certified lactation consultant, what are some health reasons in terms of why moms should choose to breastfeed?
Well, when we talk about health, we talk about the selling point is that we know that formula companies try their hardest to emulate milk,
Hmm.
breast milk. So what they do is they jam pack a lot of stuff that might be not be digestible to a newborn stomach. So one of those is good thing, like breast milk is easily digestible. It keeps our babies from having juvenile diabetes. It keeps them from being overweight in the long run. And then um, this is a big misconception. It helps them reach their highest IQ potential. It does not make what the I think what the other saying was it makes them smarter, and that's not necessarily so. A formula fed baby could be just as smart as a
Hmm.
breastfed baby,
Hmm.
but
Right.
what they have realized is there are components in breast milk that will help a child reach their full potential as far as it concerns IQ.
You know what? I'm such a nerd when it comes to information about our bodies and all, and I
Mhm.
really appreciate going through the certified lactation class, as well as a lot of other training. So it's amazing, you make these life choices and you end up in a profession. I thought it was very interesting to also note that breastfeeding helps to develop their hand-eye coordination, because you don't
Mhm.
say your baby sucking at your breast, you say they're latching, and all of
Right.
the mechanisms in which that means for a baby, and the eye contact in which they have, at that
Mhm.
level as they're latching at your breast, like all of those working pieces together, just
Mhm.
help stimulate brain development as well. So it's just like, whoa, we're just amazingly created, and it's like that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
They tend
I'm
to be
so
less allergic to foods.
right, because of course you're eating the foods that you're going to be cooking, and so um, it's filtering through in your breast milk. And so now they're tasting all the wonderful flavors of your culture, and you don't have to stay away from hot foods or anything. If you like what you like and that's what you eat, that's what you're eating, and your baby is not getting hot food. They're getting that wonderful filtered nutrition from that, but they're also getting
Mhm.
the flavoring of the food. So what? So as you
Yes.
introduce, these solids, they're like, I taste a little garlic. I taste a little, something, and it's more familiar to them. So yeah, that's cool too. Just like I said, I'm just a nerd when it comes to information for breastfeeding. Yeah, you're so right. So okay, so all right, so higher IQ potential, hand-eye coordination, tend to have less allergies. We also need to know,
Hmm.
as they may have some allergies. Um, then you can figure out from there what you just may need to cut out of your diet,
Yep.
versus switching around on a formula. Once again, having to, I mean, going from one formula to another can be very, very different. So
Yes.
in terms of just cutting a few things out of your diet, maybe a little bit easier,
Yes.
to
And less
identify.
expensive.
Oh, true. So very true. Yeah. 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 That whole thing, right?
I
Oh,
didn't use formula, but I know that it's expensive. And I know when you go from a regular formula to like a soy based or a allergen free base, it tends to get
right.
like $40, $50 range a can or something like that. So it's
It
very
most
expensive.
yeah, yeah. And it's amazing how like stores keep formula in these glass cases, away from the public, like it
Mhm.
is just gold. And it's crazy how like your breast milk is liquid gold. That's what it is.
Right.
And so the perception of formula really should be more medicated, because there are
Hmm.
instances in which children do need formula. However, to make it appear as if it is something that is so, cherished and costly, and should be protected, I don't think helps to add to the culture of breastfeeding, because
Hmm.
it makes it appear that it's better, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, yep, you're right. It's definitely a lot less. I have a couple godchildren who are not breastfed. And I was, God might be trying to do the most. I was like, what? How much is this case of milk? Like,
Right.
didn't we talk about you breastfeeding or breastfeeding longer?
Right. And
So,
then, especially now when we're talking about a pandemic, and then we've had some natural
right.
occurrences, um, people say boil water for the
Mm-hmm.
breast milk, for the formula. And it's kind of like,
Hmm.
well, you can boil water, but if there's a shortage, then what are you going to boil water for? And what if
Right.
your water is, we have this, we know, especially in urban communities, you have lead based water. You can't boil that. It'll concentrate the lead and make it even more potent. So then you have formula, but you don't have water for your formula. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Formula itself is not really, it comes with a lot of instructions on how to prepare it so that it will prevent cross contamination. You don't run that risk when you're breastfeeding. Um,
Right. Right.
Again, this is not to deter anybody. I mean, we want you to feed the baby. It's not supposed to be stressful.
Absolutely. Right.
Um,
Right.
but we're just wanting you to understand that there are a lot of things that aren't talked about when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to form. Because, and I know in Memphis, one of the things is go get your WIC. They'll give you formula. But what happens if, like now, if the WIC offices are closed because
Right. Right.
nobody's come to work in the pandemic and you can't get a refill?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a lot of things that we don't think about. The lights being out, um, you can't boil water if your lights out. It's just a lot of extra stuff that goes behind that formula versus just putting the baby to the breast.
All right. And just to say for WIC, they are operating from home as best that they can.
Hmm.
And you have to just make sure to keep in mind that WIC is a supplemental program,
Hmm.
supplemental. So that doesn't mean that they're helping to feed your baby 100%. Somewhere in there, you're going to have to buy a can of
Yep.
formula somewhere in there. And you should. There are other practices of either thinning out formula, which of course is not good. And
Hmm.
like you were saying, the whole water situation, I think that was one of the reasons, although I was breastfed and all, there's always this thing of if I'm going to do it or not. And so I know one of my things that, like, when I was ultimately making my decision, I was like, you know what? if any of these disasters happen, like you were saying, water,
Mhm.
or whatever, me as Mama Bear, I know that I got to make sure that my child has everything that they need.
Right.
So there's going to be so many other things that I may have to be, concerned for our life, doing other things, but at least making sure that he and she are fed,
Mhm.
shouldn't be one of my main concerns, if I'm breastfeeding.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I want to be able to walk and operate without the help of pretty much anybody if
Right.
it comes down to it. And then I was a young mother. I was 21 when I had my first. And
Mhm.
so for me, it almost was a little bit of a pushback because, yeah, I don't make a lot of money. I'm a younger mom. Let me cut costs where I can,
Yeah.
because I don't need nobody coming and saying anything about me and my life choices and having this baby and all the expenses. And although there are other expenses, but that I am trying to do my best,
Mhm.
of what I can do.
Mhm.
So it was helpful and empowering for that. So
Mhm.
what made you decide to breastfeed, Denise?
Well, I was like in high school. I didn't even want kids then. It was funny, but I was like, I guess I've always gone against the mold. I was like, if that's what my body's supposed to do, why wouldn't I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's, not to rain on anybody else's parade. So when I got ready to have the babies, I was like, this is what I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any, if that's actually how you and I met, I didn't have any information. I didn't know what I was doing. I had coming or going. Um, I was 24 when I had Jace, my
Wow.
oldest. And so, I was coming out of college and I had a job and I had a place to stay in the car, and it still was no better. It still was very stressful.
Hmm.
And it was scary. But the lack of information, and I had a good peer counselor at the WIC office. She was, every time I called her, she was so helpful. Um,
That's wonderful.
yeah, and I had family that was like, this baby's not getting enough to eat. And I was like, what do you mean? He's fine. He's gaining weight. He's using the bathroom. So when I got pregnant with the second baby, that's when we met. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I did it with the first baby, so I'm gonna do it with the second baby too.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of it's really a mindset. It really was. It was something that I was gonna do. I had determined I was gonna do it a long time ago, and here we are. And I'm gonna try it.
Mm.
But the lack of support that I had really propelled me into saying, well, what is it that I can do different now that I'm in here and now that I have the information? Because again, like I said, black people don't have the same conversations. It's the reason why um, are the counterparts in different races breastfeed. It's something they know. It's a conversation that they have with their doctors, with their parents, with their support groups. They go seek help. They have resources. We have those too. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
as out there as anything else. So it's just full cycle. So I decided to kind of give back and help other women do it too, because that's an accomplishment, because
It
it's hard.
really is.
It's very hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some of our viewers, what are the reasons why you all decided to breastfeed, or what are some of the concerns if you're pregnant for deciding to breastfeed? Please, put your comments in. We'll talk about them. But Denise, you are so right, and girl, it's been a while. In fact, we met at an event, a health fair event,
Hmm.
where you were giving back, and once again, you get into this, and that's wonderful that even though you were a young mom as well, that you made these certain life choices, and look, it led to a profession,
Hmm.
um and so and then that's how we met, and it's like, wow, it doesn't feel like so long ago,
It
but you just
was.
gain sisters along the way, which is
Yes.
this work feels very organic. And so
Hmm.
you have definitely been a blessing to me and my family. And so girl, I look
Thank
forward to us continuing this. All right, so let's get into this
you. Yes.
just breastfeed main. That was
Hmm.
so cute when you came up with that. So what inspired you to do that in terms of breastfeeding education and support?
I'm from Memphis. Yeah,
Okay.
that's where the main came from. I was like, how can I make this Memphis? But I mean, it's just a matter of, are you gonna do it or are you not? So just do it. I
Hmm.
mean, if
Hmm.
Nike tell you to just do it, you're gonna go buy their sneakers and go buy their apparel and go rally behind the athletes that they put on their payroll. So when it comes to your personal life and your personal decisions, why wouldn't you do it? So just breastfeed. And when you look, it is hard when you're talking about scheduling and pumping. I mean, the laws are a little bit more lax now. They're a little bit
Mhm.
more in our favor. They have places now that you can breastfeed. It's not a bathroom.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
even just 5, 6 years ago, we didn't have all of that.
All
So
right.
now it's a lot easier. But you know, it's a lifestyle change. But if you're
Mhm.
willing to do it like you do anything else, I mean, you can do it. So if you just,
Right.
sometimes it's just a matter of trying. A lot of people are deterred by a lot of um, hearsay. But if you just try it for yourself and see, it's not that bad.
Right. 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 And some of the legislation has been in place for a while,
Hmm.
but it's not necessarily it's not promoted, and a lot
Hmm.
of like even employers, they really don't know what to do with a thing. And
Hmm.
so once again, it gives us opportunity to figure out our path of what we enjoy about this work. Do we enjoy legislation? Do we enjoy helping moms
Hmm.
get back to work and all those moving pieces? And it's most definitely possible to do.
Right.
It would be wonderful if our government were to honor our bodies and allow a certain it's not even a privilege, it's like a right to be able to do certain things, especially in that first trimester. However, we will get there,
Yes.
and beyond. But until then, and even through that, like our core support, especially as Black women, um that's where we really figure out, all right, if I don't know a thing and you know a thing and you are a trusted sister or friend,
Hmm.
I'm going to listen to you.
Hmm.
And so once that's established, please, like, we get together for breastfeeding. We've done so many
Right.
other things together.
Right.
So,
So safe space.
all right, absolutely. We have to, there is an obligation to this. So for some, it's like, look, we just gonna take care of each other and keep it rolling. And I get that. But we also have to take note for the the our children and people coming behind us,
Hmm.
so that they don't have to necessarily struggle the way we did in
Right.
trying to get this and keep this together. And we know all the systematic things of why certain things have not happened and why we are disconnected. We know those things, so we are fighting through those things to
Right.
hold ourselves together, so that next the future coming through, it shouldn't have to be so hard.
Right.
um so I really feel like, this is part of like a ministry for us.
Yes.
We're building this momentum, and hopefully we can keep this stone rolling, for shoot our boys, my
Yes.
girl, like I said, for that next generation coming through.
Yes. Because
So
that's important.
absolutely. So with monikers like that, it's like just breastfeed. It's like, okay, and I think like with that sisterhood, I know there have been quite a few members who come through and they're like, I'll try it, I'll do
Yes.
it for a month, I'll do it for 6 months, and you're like, next thing you know, they're breastfeeding for 2 years,
Yes.
because there are other
Yes.
moms that they're surrounded. It's like it is a true culture, it is a true village, and it's
Yes.
like, okay, yeah, I want to show up at the next meeting, I want to be a part of this and be able to give my story, my update. And it's also, we hold each other accountable,
Yes.
and we need that
Hmm.
positively,
Right. And
and work.
support is so important. Just
Right,
it's a
absolutely.
big word because, but you can come to us. You can come to us in a meeting. You can come to us and ask for
Hmm.
help. You can
Hmm.
say, "Hey, I need you to stop by and help me breastfeed." But if your partner is not supportive, if you don't have a place to go that's supportive after we're done, then you're going to almost likely fail.
Right,
If
right,
you don't know how much support is, I mean, you got to look at how the voting was this past year. That support meant a lot. When you talk
right,
about world changes, when you talk about city changes, it just boils down to how much support is it for whatever it is that's getting done.
hmm,
But we can't help you if we don't know you need help. We can't
right,
support you if you don't say, because we're here and we're saying
right,
we're here, we're out saying we're here, but um, we don't know if you don't come to us and say,
all right, yep,
um, I need some support, and we're going to support you. We make late night
yep,
calls. We up all
energy
night.
too,
We,
yep,
throwing stuff together last minute, baby showers. So
all
um,
of that.
we do that every year, and then it's almost like it's a catch-22. It's like some they know we're here, but then when we're here to give the services, nobody shows up. But we can't
Mm-hmm.
stop because we don't want to fear of missing out that person that needs it and it's going to show up. So
All right.
We kind of have, we just, like she said, we keep going because at some
Right.
point is the momentum that we have is going to be, it's going to manifest.
And I think it is. We have people who are either becoming, like, we've had different trainings, including the Rose
Mhm.
Transformer training, um, where we've had, moms now just taking interest in lactation, not want to get too deep, but still want to have some evidence-based information
Mhm.
that when they're talking to their friends and family, that they know what they're talking about, which is
Mhm.
wonderful. That's technically how we keep this ball rolling.
Right.
And we also need our moms to know, and our sisters, that no question is ever silly.
Right.
And it's like, no, if that's that question that's keeping you from, or keeping you, it's making you discouraged, all, don't be ashamed. Don't worry about it. Somebody else has gone through it. And
Yes.
so, it doesn't matter what it is. Make sure that you reach out. I know that, yeah, we definitely had some late nights. I love talking to our members. A lot of them instant message me, and
Yes.
I really like being there. And it's usually a more simpler thing. And as
Mhm.
we may need help, we also have international board certified lactation counselors as well, IBCLCs,
Mhm.
as the need arises. However, a lot of our things remain with us because they're simpler things just to work through, and then we try our best to follow back up as we can,
Mhm.
really trying to make sure. And then especially now during this pandemic, oh my goodness, our moms, you all are in my prayers, because you're sheltering in place with a
Mhm.
with a new baby, and you
Mhm.
can't do all the usual things of outreach that you usually do. And some of that actually is good, just to say you don't
Right.
want everybody around your new baby.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
However,
out before 6 weeks anyway. Like you guys are
all
jumping
right.
the gun, have the baby out and you out and the baby out 1 week later. We like,
Wait, yeah, wait.
regular germs are still out there.
Slow down, yep. And
Yeah.
although your breast milk helps to keep them very protected,
Yes.
even for yourself, there is a resting and a healing that
Mhm.
needs to happen. And as you have your family of support, your circle of support, of course, now it's a little bit smaller.
Mhm.
Take advantage of those few little moments you may get. But us in our outreach, we just try to make sure that our moms are mentally, okay. And still trying to do a little bit of self-care. Self-care with a newborn is a lot different. Self-care
Yes.
may be in the shower, or
Mhm.
just something. And it may even mean
Eating.
yeah, that's what it may look like. It's not a day at the spa. That's okay though. You shouldn't be that far away from your baby yet. Um, but still just trying to make sure that balance of mom and baby, and that although you are a dyad together, you are still a mother, a partner, a mom, um,
A
to other
person.
children. We're a
Yeah, you're
person,
your
like
own
all of that.
person.
Right. What? Your own person also.
Mhm.
So just making sure as many of those other moving pieces are included in our outreach, us, and also the sisterhood in which BSTARS is. I appreciate you so much for doing me, Janice. Denise is also a board member of BSTARS, and so, like I said, she has been such a blessing to us. She was also instrumental in helping us to create the moniker for our national walk last year, Million Milk March. So you, girl, you're just very creative. I love you and how you
Thank
work.
you. Thank you.
How's grandmom doing?
She's doing good. I saw her this morning. Oh,
Okay,
talked to her this morning. Saw her. We hung out yesterday
awesome. I
all
miss
day.
her. Her, please, so I send my hellos and love. Um,
Yes.
be stars, as I tell you, we are a big family, and so we are missing you all tremendously. We are looking forward to meeting back in person as soon as it's a little safer. I know they are starting to relax a few things. We just,
Mhm.
especially with our population and who we deal with,
Yeah.
we just got to make sure it makes sense for us, and everybody's going to be safe and okay through it. So we're willing to
Mhm.
sacrifice just a little longer and do, this virtual platform, at least to continue to reach out, because we gotta still be connected. Um,
Right.
but it helps to create these spaces that we get, like here with our sister Denise. And so again, I so appreciate you for being willing to hang out with us. And our
Thank
Instagram
you.
family, thank you for listening in on our conversation. It was just easier to do this. So I'm sorry you're looking at my face the whole time. But I hope that you were able to hear the information as well. Stay encouraged. Oh, I brought my teddy bear. Aaron, would you give me my teddy bear? Aaron's like staring at me because I'm in his chair. He usually be in the chair. So you go run to bed. Thanks, Aaron. And so I will move momentarily. So I brought my teddy bear with me because I miss you all. And people are starting to realize and know that when I give my hugs, I do my little. So I was like,
You
okay.
and in person as well.
So yep, I figured I would do that with my teddy bear. But Denise, please, I so thank you again for joining us,
Yeah,
and
you're
I
welcome.
appreciate you so much on so many different levels. Looking forward to talking to you soon.
Yes.
And for our B Stars members, I definitely look forward to talking and reaching out to you soon. I actually have a really sweet surprise for you all over the weekend. It's
Mm,
going to be my oldest 24th on Saturday.
okay.
So we're going to be doing something pretty saucy and nostalgic on Sunday. So I'll be doing a short live real quick to at
Okay.
least share a reflective moment with you all. I'm so in need of something like that. So I look forward to it. So look out for that. It should be live on Sunday if I can wrap my brain all the way around it, but it will be recorded. So if not, you'll get it Monday. But I'm hoping to do it live. So
Okay.
um, look out for that. We'll be reconnecting at the end of April for another really wonderful topic around breastfeeding education and support. And again, I thank you all for hanging out with us. And Denise, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And I hope everybody has a good evening.
All righty. You too. Thanks for having me here.
Yay. Thank you so much, Denise.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.